Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ní sà.
Àwa nìyẹn o.
Gbogbo ilé ń kọ́ sà, àwọn ṣẹ́gbúrò handsome young man mi àti Tọ́pẹ́ àtàdúrà náà sà.
Àlàáfíà ni gbogbo wa.
Àti mọ́mì ẹ ṣe gan ni sà.
We thank God.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ sà, kò ní rẹ̀ yín lórúkọ Jésù sà.
Àmì àtẹ̀yìn náà àti gbogbo wa sára mọ́kùn.
A dúpẹ́ sà.
Àjíǹde ara máa jẹ gbogbo wa.
Àmì Jésù, àmì Jésù.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mo ń bọ̀ wá sà, mo fẹ́ pín, mo ń gbìyànjú láti pín ètò ní sà.
Okay, take your time.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mì. Wọ́n ń kí yín o dáàdì.
Ẹ ṣé. A kí gbogbo wa, ẹ ṣé, ẹ káàbọ̀.
Grandma Ella.
Mami ẹ ṣé o, ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta mà.
Dáàdì ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ ṣíwájú wa náà àdúrà sà.
Bàbá wa ní orúkọ Jésù. Ọlọ́run wa, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín fún oore ọ̀fẹ́ tẹ́ fi fún wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. A fi ìyìn àti ògo fún orúkọ yín, ẹ gba ọpẹ́ wa o.
Àmín.
Ó tó ọjọ́ mélòó, ó tó gbà díẹ̀ tàti nírú àǹfààní ìgbẹ̀yìn. Ṣùgbọ́n nínú àánú yín, ẹ tún jẹ́ kí ó ṣeé ṣe fún wa lọ́jọ́ tòní. Kì í ṣe nítorí pé a pé tàbí a dára. Kì í ṣe nítorí pé a dára ju àwọn aládùúgbò wa lọ. Kì í ṣe pé nítorí a jẹ́ aláìlẹ́ṣẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n nítorí àánú yín àti nítorí ìfẹ́, ẹ dá wa sí, ẹ ṣe wá pè wá ní alààyè ọkàn. Arúgbó ọpẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ tó moore. Ọpẹ́ wa, ẹ má jẹ́ kó jẹ́ ìkọ̀sílẹ̀.
Àmín.
A bẹ̀ yín, ẹ dárí gbogbo àìṣedéédé wa jì wá.
Àmín.
Bí àwa pàápàá bí a ti ń dáríjì ara wa. A fi ètò náà lé yín lọ́wọ́, Ọlọ́run, ẹ yà wá sí mímọ́. A máa lọ, Olúwa, ẹ máa bá ogun wa lọ, ẹ dúró tí ogun wa.
Àmín.
Ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe ohunkóhun ṣe.
Àmín.
Ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe ọ̀rọ̀kọ̀rọ̀ sọ.
Àmín.
Ẹ̀mí ìgbéraga, ẹ̀mí ìjọra ẹni lójú, Ọlọ́run, ẹ lè jìnnà kúrò láàrin wa.
Àmín.
Ẹ̀mí ìfẹ́, ẹ̀mí ìgbọ́ra-ẹni-yé, ẹ̀mí tí kìí ṣe ẹ̀mí ẹ̀tàn, Ọlọ́run, ẹ fi fún wa.
Àmín.
Ẹ fi ẹ̀mí mímọ́ yín, ẹ fi gbé wa dúró.
Àmín.
A fi orílẹ̀-èdè wa lé yín lọ́wọ́, orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àti ilẹ̀ aláwọ̀ dúdú lápapọ̀, Áfíríkà, a fi lé yín lọ́wọ́. Ìfẹ́ yín ẹ jẹ́ kó di mímúṣẹ.
Àmín.
Títóbi ni ẹ̀yin Ọlọ́run wa. Ẹ gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yín ga ju orúkọ yín lọ pẹ̀lú. A dúpẹ́ nítorí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí eléyìí tí ẹnu yín ti sọ. Tí ojú wo yóò rí. Àwa ó dúpẹ́ fún ìgbàlà tí ẹ fi fún wa. Ògo yóò yẹ fún orúkọ yín títí ayé. A mọ̀ tẹ̀síwájú, ẹ bá wa lọ Ọlọ́run.
Àmín.
Ní orúkọ Jésù ni mo gbàdúrà.
Àmín. Àmín. Àmín ní orúkọ Jésù. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sà. A kí wa pé ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ káalẹ́, according to the time ní ọ̀dọ̀ ti yín. Kí àlàáfíà ní gbogbo ilé wà. A gbà ládùúrà pé ojú rere àtàánú Ọlọ́run kò ní fi ẹ̀yin àti èmi sílẹ̀ lápapọ̀. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pe orúkọ wa. Ṣùgbọ́n kó tó dìgbà náà, ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún fún àǹfààní àwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́. Orúkọ tèmi Ìyálájé Global Talk Show. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global, èmi náà ni. Ní orí YouTube channel mi, Ìyálájé Global Talk Show. Ẹ bá mi lọ́bẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ bá ti subscribe. Ẹ lọ bá wa subscribe níbẹ̀. Kẹ́ bá wa like, tẹ́ bá kúrò ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi ẹ bá mi yà lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yẹ ń gbọ́ ìyẹn ọ̀gá mi Dr. Michaela ẹ bá wa ṣe bákan náà bí ẹ ṣe ń subscribe tẹ́ ń bá wa pé ètò àgbà aládùúrà pé àtẹ̀yìn àtèmi àti gbogbo wa lápapọ̀ a máa fi ọwọ́ náà ṣe ohun tó dára láyé wa ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti alẹ́ yìí orúkọ tiwa tẹ́ bá rí bàbá ẹgbẹ́ wọn ń darapọ̀ mọ́ mi mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ wọn Dr. Moses Abiodun Ojo bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtàtà a máa rí yín pẹ́ o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ẹ ṣé ìfọ̀nìfà ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò mo ń bọ̀ wá mi ò tíì dé ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kí àwọn aráalé ká kí wọn mo kí bí orúkọ wa bá ṣe yọ lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí báyìí ni màá pè grandma Abẹ́sími mọ́mi Fúnmilọ́lá Bello 572 ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà gbogbo grandma àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé wọn. Dádì mi máa ń pè wọ́n ní dádì mi láti iṣẹ́ rígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ̀rọ̀ kódà gan kí n tó pàdé Dr. Michaela dádì Lọlá Ọlásùnkànmí ní orí ayélujára Facebook ní ọdún náà lọ́ọ̀ mi ò lè gbàgbé kíákíá wọ́n fi nǹkan kan sọwọ́ sí mi ó sì wà lọ́wọ́ mi dọ̀la ó jẹ́ kí inú mi dùn pé ayọ̀ mi kún pé àwọn kan sì wà tó yẹ pé nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe ó make sense lọ́dọ̀ wọn ẹ ṣé gan ni o dádì Lọlá Ọlásùnkànmí ní London ó yẹ kán máa sùn báyìí ni ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n máa ń darapọ̀ mọ́ mi ní orí ètò àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé o mo dúpẹ́ madam ẹwà Ògoolúwa àdúrà èmi èèyàn mi ẹ kú ọjọ́ láéláé ẹ já mi láago mi ò ní nọ́mbà yín mọ́ ẹ já mi láago ọ̀rọ̀ wà ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ẹ ṣé mo kí Bẹ̀sími Ẹniọlá Ella Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ọmọ alálùbáríkà àkọ́bí wa ní orí ìkànnì wa ni Ella we love you ọmọ olórí
bigly we love you bigly and we're very proud of you àdúrà wa tiẹ̀ lẹ́yìn
àmín
ìgbà Ọlọ́run òkè òkè báyìí lẹ́yìn máa ń fọhùn
àmín àmín
òkè ni wàá mókè ṣáá ni lágbára Èdùmàrè ó di dandan àfàlà ọjọ́ tọ́jọ́ bá là wá là
àmín
àṣẹ ọ̀run kó balẹ̀.
àṣẹ Èdùmàrè àṣẹ ẹ ṣeun ìyá wa ìyálòde orí ìkànnì wa madam Mọ́dúnní Adé ẹ kú gbogbogbà gbogbo sísà mi ẹ kú àdúrótì lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àjọṣe wo ní bàjẹ́ má jèrè àwọn ọmọ yín o.
ọjọ́ mẹ́ta wọ́n jẹ fáìn ẹ káàbọ̀.
kì í tẹ ṣe ìyẹgbẹ́ o ìyálòde tún lè lé ìyálòde orí ìkànnì ẹni tẹ́ mọ̀ dáadáa làwọn náà ẹni tẹ́ mọ̀.
ẹ ṣé wa thank you so much.
ẹ ṣé gan ni lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí èní ilé ní jẹ́ kódà ẹnìkan béèrè yín lánàá lọ́wọ́ mi sísà mi kan béèrè wọ́n ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Dr. Abiodun Ojo pé mo wá ṣàlàyé fún wọn pé ṣe mọ ìgbà míì kò kì í sí àyè ẹ̀kan nínú àyè náà lẹ ti máa ń wá àyè so inú mi wá dùn nígbà tí a sọ̀rọ̀ ní àwúrọ̀ yìí ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo padà sí ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ títí láéláé nígbà tí ayé kò fi ní sí mọ́ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ mi lẹ máa jẹ́ ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa tẹ̀lé yìí pẹ́ lágbára Èdùmàrè gbogbo nǹkan tẹ ní èyí tó mí àti èyí tí kò mí kò sí kankan tó máa pa yín lẹ́kún nínú ẹ̀ lórúkọ Jésù ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sà ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yín ètò wa ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé ká tó tẹ̀síwájú akí Dr. ẹjọ má bínú sà mo kí Dr. Michaela pé ẹ kúṣẹ́ kò ní rẹ̀ yín o ẹ máa jèrè gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín láti Èdùmàrè so ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé Dr. Abiodun Ojo.
ní ìṣáájú àfitolúwa síwájú adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ẹni gbogbo ènìyàn tó tún fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ ní àṣálẹ́ yìí ìyìn ògo ni forúkọ rẹ̀ mo kí ìyálájẹ pé ẹ kú ìfaradà mo dúpẹ́ gbẹgbà mi mo ṣe rí thank you for who you are ó fi hàn pé ilé gidi dẹ́ti jáde wá lágbára Ọlọ́run ìbáṣepọ̀ ilé mo ń tán bá sá lóògùn kò lè jẹ́
àmín
tán bá pè lọ lédè kò ní ṣiṣẹ́ pé kí òkùnkùn wà láàrin ìmọ́lẹ̀ yìí kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀
àmín Jésù
tó gbé kí ni ìfẹ́ àti òtítọ́ kò sí nǹkan tó lè borí rẹ̀ ìmọ́lẹ̀ agbára ìmọ́lẹ̀ wọ́n ní bó ṣe wù kí òkùnkùn ṣú tó tí ìmọ́lẹ̀ bá dé yóò borí òkùnkùn ni ló fi jẹ́ pé màá ṣàlàyé fáwọn èèyàn wa ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ kí n kí gbogbo wa pé a káàbọ̀ sórí ètò pẹ̀lú Olúwa tán tá mo kí yín Alájẹ. Dr. Mike, tẹ́ bá wà lórí ìkànnì tàbí tẹ́ bá sí ń bì, we thank you always, we appreciate you, we love you. Ella, shout out to you always. You know you're there to our souls, and we wish you the best. Àdúrà tá à ń gbà yóò tẹ̀lé ẹ lẹ́yìn.
Àmín.
Ìpè kò ṣáà, you stay focused on what you need to do. Wàá fi Késárì fún Késárì nígbà tó bá yẹ kó fi fún. Wàá mọ inú ẹ̀. Wàá sì wà ìgbé ẹ̀mí ọgbọ́n, ẹ̀mí àgbà, Elédùmarè bá mi fi fún ẹ. You progress and you'll be one of the leaders and to free our people. Lágbára Èdùmàrè. Kò ní wọ́n o. Agbára Ọlọ́run. Àṣeyẹ bá lára kan ṣepo àti wo àti àwọn tó ní ẹ̀mí bíi tiẹ̀ báyìí. Lẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀, Ọlọ́run á gbà á sì fi ìfẹ́ yín á fi fún yín.
Àmín.
Fún ìran yín. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tá à ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò yìí. Mo ṣe ń gbàdúrà yìí gbogbo tá a fi tọkàntọkàn nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn èèyàn dúdú. Ọlọ́run á gba àdúrà yẹn fún gbogbo wa bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àmín.
Á gbà fún wa. Gbogbo ibi jẹ́ tí ń wojú Ọlọ́run lóríṣiríṣi because ìpéjọpọ̀ wa lè jọ ẹ̀kan náà. Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ní èrò wa even níwájú Ọlọ́run. Gbogbo ibi tẹ́ bá ti ń béèrè, gbogbo ohun tẹ́ ti ń wo béèrè fún nǹkan. Ìbá ṣe ìrànwọ́, ìbá ṣe ìṣẹ́gun, ìbá ṣe ìtẹ̀síwájú, ọ̀run á dùn yín nínú olórí ọ̀fẹ́ àti gbégbá ọpẹ́. Adúpẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ètò yìí, adúpẹ́ tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Láìsí ẹ̀yin kò sí àwa. Fún ìfẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ ní, ẹ̀yin náà ò ní dáṣáyé.
Àmín o.
Gbogbo tẹ́ bá sì ń ṣe yóò mọ yọrí sí dáradára.
Àmín.
Àwọn tó bá wá ń rò pé ó tó jẹ́ mẹ́ta tí ABIODUN ti wà lórí ètò, màá ṣàlàyé àwọn kan. Bí 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, ibi iṣẹ́ rán mi lọ sí training kan ní Dallas. I was there for a few, and then the whole of last week, wọ́n tún rán mi lọ sí Pennsylvania for another training. So unfortunately, our tájọ wà ní trainings, even after the sessions, it's not convenient for me to say pé mo fẹ́ wá lórí show. So I had to mo láti pè Alájẹ bí kán má bínú. She knows all of my movement. Kì í ṣe nípa ti ibi. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ìbànújẹ́ ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa. Kò sí ní ṣẹlẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Kì í ṣe nípa ìlera. Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè kò ní jẹ́ ká ṣàìsàn.
Àmín.
Wọ́n ní òjòjò kì í ṣe ọ̀tá lálẹ́ odò. So God has kept us well. It's all for good reasons why we are not here. But we thank God for the grace. Àná tó tún yẹ kí n wá sórí ètò. Nígbà tí Sátánì tó fi ṣe èdè. But èmi ti gbà fún Ọlọ́run pé gbogbo ohun tó Ọlọ́run bá fẹ́ kí n ṣe ni ó ṣe ṣe. Torí ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run ni ó ṣe.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Mo tètè wọlé nítòótọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n when I was in the clinic, I put mo wà nínú meetings kan tí mo fi àwọn phone sórí silent. So ìgbà tí mo wọlé, I was listening to the news because I paid attention to Gaza and the exchange of refugees and then the peace deal tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀. So I was watching that news and then at the same time picking up news about the Defense Department, the War Department, not coinciding. So I was trying to figure out a lot of things and then I fell asleep. Me fi phone mi sí ringer and gbàtí ma fi lajú again, it was way after the show. Ọlọ́run.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Ni mo ṣe pé Alájẹ lára kùtùkùtù pé ó pàdé kò bàjẹ́. Torí oríṣiríṣi ló ń lọ nínú ayé tó yẹ ká jọ fi tora létí, you know. And we should be and every day I'm just happy that what I'm suspecting, what I'm feeling, it's the right thing. And I've not made any mistake with the way we should walk away from Yoruba Nation. But I'm not regretting one bit because gbogbo àwọn tó ṣe Yoruba Nation tó wá pé lóòótọ́ náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwa Yoruba Nation. Ní àárín ìjọ mẹ́ta you will find they have to make some choices and make some decisions as to where we have to head through as Nigerians, as Africans. Because like I said, the battle is not just between the Fulani and the Hausa and the Yoruba people or the Igbos and the Yorubas. No, it's an international battle. It's an economic war. It's a war survivor between continents. Ọlọ́run á sì gbà wá nú ẹ̀. Elédùmarè á gbà wá nú ẹ̀. Àwa ti rí eléyìí náà. Ọlọ́run ìgbàgbọ́ tèmi sì ni pé ó ní ta ni ìwọ Zerubbabel níwájú ewu ta ni ìwọ òkè níwájú Zerubbabel àbẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Ní orúkọ Ọlọ́run ni yóò di pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
Àmín.
Àwọn irọ́ yìí tán pẹ̀lú àwọn ní nǹkan pàtàkì yìí. God will defeat and shame them with very little things.
Àmín.
Dábì náà kò ní pẹ́ dé, mo gbàgbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àmín.
So mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan kí n tó tún go into my, because I'm always very emotional about these things, and I'm very passionate about it, on especially things that I believe and things that I think is just and right. Because I'm always very passionate about it, and it doesn't matter what happens, but I know the best will happen for our people. So mo kí wa káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a káàbọ̀ sórí ètò gbogbo wa Ìyálájé Talk Show. Thank you.
ẹ ṣe gan lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ kó ohùn ẹ pẹ́ fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè sà. Ká tó tẹ̀síwájú ẹ jẹ́ ká tún sáré kí àwọn tí wọ́n tún ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Mọ́mí Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣúgbòyè, àwọn tèmi níbi tí ẹ ṣe gan ni. Ẹ bá wa kí dádì Babátúndé Olúwatósìn àti ìyàwó wa, ẹ ṣe àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́. Prophetess Bọ́láńlé David, ẹ kú ọjọ́ láíláí, ẹ ṣe gidi gan ni o. A dúpẹ́ o, ẹ kú ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run nínú ayé mi tẹ́ rí, Ọlọ́run ò ní fi yín sílẹ̀ o. Ẹ bá wa kí dókítà àti àbúrò ẹ ṣe. Grandma Omoyele Folúkẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò, ẹ ṣe gan ni. Àǹtí mi Mọ́mí Rísí Ashiru, àkópalẹ̀mọ́ díẹ̀díẹ̀, ọjọ́ á kò sí re o, wọn ò ní fi ẹlòmíì ṣe yín lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣe. So a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò, àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní abẹ́ ètò tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ̀ comment, gbogbo yín pátápátá la kí o pé ẹ ṣe gidi gan ni. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yín ètò wa. So a máa tẹ̀síwájú báyìí. Dádì mi, mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ kúnnú yín tí ẹ fẹ́ sọ. Ibo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sà?
Gbogbo àyè ló gbà wá. Ṣùgbọ́n mo kí àwọn ìran aláwọ̀ dúdú pé a kú oríire lẹ́ẹ̀sì. Ìgbà tí ṣe rí nígbà kan mi mọ̀ bóyá mo ti sọ lórí ètò yìí ó pọ̀ bọ́ tó ṣe tàbí bóyá àgbà tèmi àti Ìyálájé bá sọ̀rọ̀ kí n kan sọ kí nìkan tí mo fi nípa Sowore. Máa ń sọ pé it never really crossed my mind as somebody who is serious. And I think I said it, a very dark man. I actually preferred him to Sowore. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé kọ́lọ́run kó fún bọ̀bọ́ yẹn ní ẹ̀mí ọgbọ́n, ẹ̀mí àgbà. Even though he has all the qualities I really want as a leader for our nation, he's young. He's knowledgeable. This guy does researches. He's very honest. Èmi ò mọ̀ tán, but pẹ̀lú gbogbo tá a ti rí tó wáyé pé irọ́ kan wà nínú kíní ẹ̀ ní àwọn èèyàn ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n á ti tú ẹ̀mọ́ àṣírí ẹ̀ ò lè bò. So I was already looking into somebody like a very dark. I never really paid strong attention to Omoyele Sowore. I never paid him serious mind because for somehow I just don't really, I didn't feel, I wasn't feeling him, honestly, because I thought he was just another politician. Mokongwe is a young guy, yes. He's into news, print, media, and that he's trying to, brainwash the youths for his own selfish intentions. Maybe to also become like these corrupt politicians in Nigeria. That was my view of him. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's this. But he might just be another politician. You understand? Because he was playing the games of the politicians. Passionately, Motiman believe pé ẹni tó bá máa gba Nàìjíríà là, wọ́n ní ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kọ́nà fi ń gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. Ẹ̀rí pé máa ń tẹnu mọ́ dáadáa. Ojúbọ̀rọ̀ kò gba ọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. Ni mo ṣe máa ń sọ pé openly and publicly, I've always advocated for violent change of the Nigerian federal government. If it will be for the people, it has to be a violent, radical change. So I never believed in Omoyele Sowore because he was playing their games and going for elections and doing all that. But what he started doing recently lit up the light in me. But yeah, now you're talking. Somebody like me now can take you serious. Gbogbo ilé tẹ́lọ sọ pé ẹ̀dìbò fún mi tẹ́lọ campaign tẹ́lọ sáré àtúmọ̀ sọ pé òun revolution, I want to revolution. Understand? What kind of garbage is that? He was talking garbage before, but now he's talking sense. Do you understand? This is where I think we are coming to the very crossroads that I expect Nigeria to go very shortly. And especially when you look at what is happening in Africa and what just happened yesterday, just started about 5-6 days ago. It's just a light to what's happening. And when you put that also in the context of what the three Sahelian leaders put out in terms of who are the people responsible for funding terror in Northwest Africa, and putting the light, the torchlight, shining the torchlight on Nigeria and the elites in Nigeria, you can tell that something beautiful is coming. It's not going to be at no cost. It will be with cost. But something beautiful is coming, and our people will be the better of it. So when I saw that statement, Sowore post, enough of the talks. How many times Motiman saw? Money, these people don't understand the peaceful language. The only language they understand is violence. Yes, they will tell you diplomacy. They will tell you it's not civilized. As a civilized person, they want you to behave in certain ways. Follow the law. America, she won't follow the law, anything. I want to point something before I get distracted. When I'm talking about that, when they signed the peace deal, the peace deal, Gaza and Sin, people go and pay attention. Everybody pay attention right now. That peace deal in Gaza is only to get the Israelis out of the hands of the Hamas who are holding them. Israel and America will find a way to throw that peace deal into garbage after receiving the people. Already. Our dead bodies, and the deal says that you have to give all of the remains. She only can they always produce all of those things? Would they even show that? And then even if they give them all of that, it's going to be something that happens where they will get back into the battlefield. So what I'm saying is they do not understand the language of peace. When they talk about diplomacy, when they talk about being civil, it is just to keep you in bondage. It is to keep people in bondage. I share a video on Lori platform, will believe, and I also shared on my Facebook, where a lady, a young girl, it's so strange that you see all these young youths who are very, very aware as to what's happening in their world, talking about three things that this capitalist West believes in. They will blame it on other people. They're benefiting from one particular thing, even though they will openly be condemning it, but underground, they're funding it and supporting it for their own interests. As long as what she mobile can ring back on. To ban who about the ban suffering. And in shape and Osha walk. Kill my paro, láti gba nǹkan kan lọ́wọ́ èèyàn kan. Tó bá ti rí kíní ẹgbà, tó bá sọ pé irú wa wo lélẹ̀, àwọn ni Osha ṣe bó ṣiṣẹ́. These are the mindset of some of these people that we're dealing with. So going back to what I said, when I see Sowore talking about marching on Aso Rock, I said, now here we go. And then doing this for somebody who's been incarcerated unjustly by the Nigerian government for almost 7 years, if not more. That's totally ridiculous. What type of justice system here? He's not been tried all of a sudden, but don't have a process in the eyes of everybody trial. That's your do. Do you understand what I'm saying here, everybody? Who is fooling who? Even the justice system is woefully, it has woefully failed. You have criminals in the corridors of power in Nigeria, and they're doing what they feel like doing. And then they think our people should continue in their ignorance and suffer penury. The time has come. So gbogbo àwa tí Ọlọ́run fún lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti rí àṣírí irú àwa tọ́lọ́run fún lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá síbi tá a wà yìí. what is going on to our people is not what is right. And we will continue to speak until all this is Africa will be free. Nigeria will be free very soon. It's not going to be. Who expects this about Madagascar? What happened just yesterday? And then take a look. Keep record. And each time these presidents start to escape and they try to look for where they're going to run to, they always run into the French embassy or to France. So the people are revolting against their leader. The leader seeks refuge in the French embassy or in France. What is that supposed to tell us? Anywhere or Shenya. And now when you see good African leaders, France is the one to be pointing, accusing fingers as those leaders are not good. What does that tell us as Africans? It's an indictment that they are actually responsible for the mystery that has befallen Africa. Those are the truth. So when Omoyele and Sowore start talking about freeing Nnamdi Kanu, it is a long call that has been awaited. Now, if I post making some all the Yoruba nation agitator melo, I want to talk about now Yoruba nation stalwarts. But from the top lead, from the leadership of the YSDM to the little and to any organization of Yoruba nation, to sort of Nnamdi Kanu. So many things, so I've kind of canceled my name out of all those things. But shouldn't there have been a vocal voice from the Yoruba self-determination movement if they were really serious about freeing Yoruba nation people? If nobody's asking that question, I guess a lot of people will not ask that type of question because they are either they don't know what they're doing. And some people, and I'm not trying to be insultive, some people are just moving with the flow. They don't really asking the real questions as to why am I doing this? And shouldn't we be asking these questions? Why has nobody said anything? Why has there been no press release? Why has there been no jingles about Nnamdi Kanu? Is it because he's not a Yoruba man? The salvation of the Yoruba people also depends on the salvation of the Igbos. The salvation of our people depends on the salvation of every other ethnic group in Nigeria and across Africa. If we're not going to have a stable community around ourselves, we might as well just remain, in this wilderness of destruction. But you don't see anybody from the YSDM or Yoruba Nation joining forces with Sowore, saying, you know what? Let us team forces with this. This is why there's no way, I don't even know how I got into Yoruba Nation in the first instance. But it's good, some of the exposures that I've seen. It's good to see how these people think, some of our people, how they think. And then when you talk, some people want to arrogate ultimate knowledge to themselves. And when you weigh those knowledge, when you weigh their intelligence, you see how much shallow, so much garbage that's in there. Yes. Why is there nobody in the Yoruba groups or these organizations joining forces, teaming forces? YSDN. Sowore, okay, we're going to join this group. Come motivate and YSDM Ogun State, YSDM Oyo State, YSDM Ekiti State, YSDM Kwara State, YSDM Lagos State, YSDM Osun. Why don't you join forces, send delegates, and spend money to join Sowore on the march on Aso Rock? Why is that not taking place? Why is that not the case? Is that not a good way of spending money? But they want to waste $20-something thousand. How many days? Listen, to all our people who might be listening to this, October 20, 2025. And I made a prediction. Facebook, where I know that Tinubu is not stupid. I swear to God. àwọn bàbá wọn bá lórí pé ajá tó ń ṣinwín ó mọjú náà. Tẹ́ bá wo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kenya ní kò tí pẹ́ jìnnà tán jó gbogbo tán grand tán ba gbogbo plane mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹ rántí àwọn instances yẹn. And you see how the Kenyan president is talking, even at the United Nations. One of the greatest speech that shows Africa is revolting against the status quo. Go and listen to the Kenyan president's speech at the United Nations, United Nations General Assembly. Now, how I know he's not stupid, Madagascar, I'm sure he also understands. About a year ago or so, when people marched down on country in Bangladesh, on the presidential palace in Bangladesh, this guy is not stupid to allow a protest of that magnitude to march down on Asoro, because it will be the end of the federal government of Nigeria. And then we'll have a military leader. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. I, Moses ABIODUN, am predicting that Tinubu is not stupid to allow that protest to happen on Monday. Instead, he will release Nnamdi Kanu before that date. But there are two possibilities that I've already thought about what could happen. Either Koko our state security agents can arrest Sowore, can arrest can detain so many people, could create a lockdown, and I think it will be a mistake. If it does that, it will be a great mistake on that government. Either way, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Now, if he did not do that, harass lock down everywhere with the police. Even if he locks down with the police or the army will take over. What in Bangladesh? The president in Bangladesh put out military men to go and quench the riot. The military men join with the protesters. This is what will happen if he allows October 20, Monday. Now, compare the situation don't analyze the Nigerian scene. Juxtapose the professor to Kenya
Kenya.
That he came to talk in Nigeria to these lawmakers about 65 years of independence. To sugarcoat it. Come on, wedding in funeral wa. And he challenged the Nigerian community that you are the one holding us back in Africa. But the way Nigeria goes, the rest of Africa go. Because God has just placed that country in that unique position. And why is it that? Not only because we're the giant of Africa, but especially because the Yorubas are more resident inside Nigeria. Man sokini kan pe Yoruba, Ọlọ́run fún wọn ní iye wọn pé oye nu wọn ó jinlẹ̀ gidi. Ìrònú wọn, you understand? Àfàìmọ̀ kó má jẹ́ pé Yorùbá yìí lọ́lọ́run fi dá ayé wọn. Mo sọ pé àwọn èèyàn wà lórí pé wọn mọ̀. Tí Yorùbá wá sọ pé àwọn ò mọ̀ irọ́ ni. If they say they don't know, they can be playing you. But that Yoruba doesn't know, yes, they know. Our people know more than what you expect. And so the way Nigeria goes, the rest of Africa, Nigeria ní nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Sahel yẹn ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní. The rest of Africa will have been gone long time ago. And that's why I really want to give a shout out to this professor. Kí lorúkọ man yìí gan?
PLO Lubamba. PLO Lubamba.
Lumumba,
yes.
Professor Lumumba. That's a professor for you. What are our leaders professing to us? At this point, I must say something about Professor Banji Akintoye. Are we supposed to say, what's Professor Banji Akintoye advocating? Are we just going to be a biopic about Yoruba nation? Or are we going to address the real situation facing all Africans, of which the Yorubas are suffering the heaviest? The salvation of the Yorubas is intricately tied to the salvation of the rest of Africa. It is easy to free Nigeria than to get a free Yoruba out of Nigeria. It is not possible like that. So we should be thanking people. And that's why I think if our leaders are really very serious, especially our Yoruba leaders, if they're really very serious about getting us out of this quagmire, they will have teamed forces with people like Omoyele. What he's doing right now is what I think we should support him. To join forces because it is the right thing to do. Our people are not stupid. Àwọn Yorùbá nation gbọ́n ju gbogbo ntí ọmọ Yorùbá náà ní ìṣòwò rẹ̀. We thank God because he's also he's one of us. He has chosen a different path. Now I think that path is a path of wisdom. Especially because it is not a negotiating kind of way. I thought that Nigeria has to be forced. The government, the leadership of Nigeria must be forced. It has to be wrestled out from the hands of our oppressors. Professor Lumumba, he was talking to Nigerian elites. He was addressing our senators. He was addressing our governors. He was addressing our ministers. He was addressing top government officials. Once Lumumba starts to talk, you look at their reaction. Look at the way they look. That's to tell us. When somebody is telling the truth and challenging them to do the right thing, instead of them taking it, they're looking at what they're going to lose. They want to lose authority over the people. They're going to lose keeping people bondage. They will lose the fact that they will not be more superior than any other Nigerian. This is what they're thinking in their head. But I'm no longer going to be ministers. I'm no longer going to be governor. I can no longer just put somebody in jail. I can't tell this police go and do this. Without, everybody will be accountable. Citizens will be equal under the law, right? They don't like that. These people don't like that. And so when this professor is talking and addressing the Nigerian elites, look at their faces. Hello, body language. And these are the people that have been selected by these Western imperial powers to be Lord over us. Would that protest happening on Monday? Gbogbo àwọn tó mú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà dúró tó àfẹ́ kó lọ ìdìbò tó àfẹ́ ká fi bá mi rán wọn ṣẹ́ gbá mi fi iye ra jẹ́ kí iye kó ra wọn pátápátá ká jẹ́ kí protest yẹn ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ká wá ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀. Èṣù bàbá Yorùbá mo bẹ̀ wọn ṣẹ́ tábà láwọn èèyàn tán níbi tán ní ta epo sórí àbíkínà wọn ní fún èṣù lẹ́dí aládìí ẹ̀bẹ̀ bá ń fún ládìí pé lágbájá ló ní ìjọba Nàìjíríà ló ní ká fún ẹ ládìí jẹ o. Pé ọjọ́ ajé tó ń bọ̀ yìí àbí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni
ọjọ́ ajé tó ń bọ̀ yìí kí iye kó ra wọn kí wọ́n ṣe tó fi tẹ́ a jẹ́ pé bóyá irú òwòye ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ maybe we'll be singing a different tune on this platform. Bóyá Tinubu ti gba France lọ. Òótọ́ mo sọ fún yín o, mo fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn máa kọ ọ̀rọ̀ wa kalẹ̀ dáadáa. Bóyá Tinubu, bóyá ó ti gba France lọ, but mo mọ̀ pé he's too smart of a guy. He's always claiming that òun ní ọpọlọ. I'm suspecting that yes, that's the truth, because he's like almost a genius when it comes to politics. I think he will let Nnamdi Kanu out before that day. But the funny thing, the sad news, even if Nnamdi comes out today, even if they release him before Monday, they have just formed an alliance between the Sowore group and the Nigerian youths and Nnamdi Kanu and his Biafran lords. Now tell me, what's gonna lead? Nigeria will not be the same again. But I pray it will be for the better outcome, for the best for our Nigerian people. Now, look at the twist to it. All of a sudden, when all of this is happening, and Western powers, they've been using Nigeria to go against the Sahel. They've been using Nigeria. There was a time, don't try to fund in Nigeria to build defense. They were trying to make sure that there's no cooperation between the Nigerian government and the three Sahelian, the AES.
Benny, sir. Oh, yes.
Much coffee, and then, go and build fence, go and do this. Don't allow nothing. And they're using Nigerian territories to now fund terror in the Sahelian region, right?
Benny, sir.
All of a sudden, when all of their games is failing and everything is falling apart, they first started with religion. From nowhere. And but you don't know don't share visa ban in Nigeria. When they're so drunk with their folly, when in their madness, doing everything against Africa, just like a stupid, drunkard. Treating Africans as though we are nothing, even though their livelihood depends on the entire continent of Africa. Addressing our people as though we are nothing. Up to tomorrow, he's still drunk in his mind. So when they've been banning our people with no visa, it's been putting tariff on majorly African nations. Yeah, it's been doing so many things. There's a special ban on Nigerians actually. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ visa day. Àwọn senators àwọn evangelical wọn níbí wọ́n sọ wọn kan pa ẹ̀. All of a sudden, when they see that there are issues brewing up, they started talking about religion. You see one stupid senator from Texas,
yeah, Texas.
Nigeria, Christians are being killed in Nigeria more than any other place. Ituma. Because and I want people to, I really want people to pay attention to what's going on, because these people, when they talk to you, they want you to believe the narrative that they're giving you. Meanwhile, when they start talking to us, that Nigeria, all of a sudden, they have the interest of Nigerians at heart. All of a sudden, they love the Christians in Nigeria. From nowhere. You just come and say, they've been killing Nigeria and Christians in Nigeria. Nigeria, all of your policies have always been the same. Now, I want to ask another question. Ìgbà mélòó ni ọmọ Yorùbá tàti kó flyer, tàti kó placard, tàti náwó, tàti náírà lọ síwájú United Nations. Pẹ̀lú fọ́tò oríṣiríṣi. Àbí ṣé wọ́n rí ni?
Sir.
How many years ago?
Yep.
According to Washington, D.C., British Embassy, American White House, the Department of State, all over.
Then, sir.
Did they say they see us? Did the United States and these stupid senators say they see that yes, Muslims are killing, they are killing in Nigeria? Meanwhile, none of those protests went away. They have agents monitoring everything. They have every information. They even know us. They know a lot of us by our names, our addresses, and everything we do. They probably monitoring us on all the. So when you come to protest over there, they know you already. Don't they know what you're saying? But hey, what you well, I want to catch you are not going nowhere. But now election is coming. Election 2027, Ombodi. That means 2026, no better campaign. Out of nowhere, they don't want Tinubu there because Tinubu is a Yoruba man. Nǹkan tó fẹ́ kí Tinubu ṣe kò lè ṣe. Wọ́n fẹ́ kí Tinubu kógun ti àwọn Sahelian leaders yẹn gbà yẹn mi mọ̀ bóyá rántí tí ò ṣeé ṣe. Eventually, Tinubu was out of ECOWAS leadership, and then they put another person there. You know, now election is coming up. They know Tinubu will want to be another president, and some of the things they want Tinubu to do for Yoruba against Nigeria, he couldn't do it because it affects mostly Yoruba people. I beg you. They do not want Tinubu there. If I'm not telling to the Yoruba nation, Yoruba, lotari wo pongba yẹn. Tinubu náà dẹ̀ ti di pé kí n tó ti sọ pé orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó ní means láti fi cause chaos pẹ̀lú agitation àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń gbà yẹn. That's how they manage him. Let us just appease these people, pacify, band-aid solution to just for 4 years, and then we'll give back to the Northerners. All they want now is another leader from the North that will not think twice, but just listen to their directives. But to do that, they're also preparing the grounds for military support. They're killing Christians in Nigeria. All of a sudden, this senator from Texas now is interested in the well-being and existence of the Christians in Nigeria. Who are you fooling? Those are pretexts. These are pretenses. These are exactly what they always do to maintain some level of security. They now say, I want to maintain some security, these Christians, and then they want to get the population, the citizens involved. And say, they've been killing us, they've been killing us, yes, they've been killing Christians. Once they get the population to be on their side, foolishly, they want us to be stupid. They'll bring in their presence. They're coming to support us. African, they already have them all over Africa. They'll say, now they'll start picking out people. They'll create another terror group. This is what they do worldwide. It's not because they're interested in any particular Christians. They came in with the Bible and with the gun on the other hands before. Anyways, they were killing us regardless of whether we were Christians or not. Now, all of a sudden, they want to change the Nigerian government direction. In 2027, they're starting from using religion. Saying what now you're talking about the songs we sang 3, 4, 5 years ago in front of the United Nations, in front of the White House, in front of the Department of State, in front of the British Embassy, all over, including in Britain, Great Britain, everywhere. Nobody said they heard us. Now you are interested in our case. No, I don't think so. We know exactly what your plans are. And you're trying to use religion. For now, throw away those religions out of we are human beings first. We are citizens and human beings first, before any kind of religion comes. These people are using this religion to continue to enslave us and to continue to put us in bondage. And we should reject it. And in the mix of that, They want to maintain military presence to destroy, to make sure that Tinubu will not have a chance to become president, and they will actually use this revolt to untopple his government. Tinubu náà wá ṣe. He is not stupid. He knows that they don't want him there. He knows that they only tolerated him there. He too is working in 2027. Meanwhile, one follow see Isikoto is coming. Ṣé ó lọ mú olóyè ìgbà tó lóyè tí wọn Nàìjíríà ṣó lọ mú.
Ló ti sà.
Tòró ń dúró dìgbà tó máa nídìí ẹ̀.
Kábíyèsí Olódùmarè.
That's right. Ó ń dúró dìgbà. Ṣé tó bá yẹ pé ṣé kò yẹ kó ti release àkáǹtì Sunday Igboho? Ṣé kò yẹ kó ti yọ kó lórí orúkọ ẹ̀? Ṣé kò yẹ kó ti ṣe? Ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè lọ. This Tinubu is playing this game with these Western imperialists at the same time because he knows they don't want him to win the second term, and he's going to try and cause chaos. Àwọn Yorùbá wa sọ pé àti mọ̀ náà tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wàá náà ṣe nígbà tó bá bọ́wọ́ tó bá rí pé wọ́n fẹ́. If Sunday Igboho is hearing me, he should understand why they're using him as a pawn on this political chess game, on a chessboard. They're trying to use him, and tí ó bá ṣọ́ra ẹ̀ kó má jẹ́ kí America gan wá fún life òun gangan sef. You understand? That be France. Because now if the Fulani sees that is like the Joker, Tinubu fẹ́ mú dání. You understand? Because they know they are frustrated at this point. They know they have him at a point where they needed him. They know that he's, the government now has an upper hand over him. Unfortunately, that's what it looks like. That's not what it looks like. That's what it is. So that when their plan doesn't work out, it's a second fallback on. As a tribal issue. Fulani Yoruba. Again, this is where we headed. Means of way, Koto Ditania. Chairman, one of Bama, they thought they're wise, but long Tony Boy at your Lodo. He will catch them where they never expected. Monday, come off Nnamdi Kanu, but if Nnamdi Kanu another wala because now they have to stop another trouble. They're going to have, because Kanu will eventually join forces with Sowore. This way, I might have to follow that because it's more violent, more radical than yeah. So if somebody like Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu should fight together, it will be a great day, a beautiful time. We'll say, welcome 2026. Let us see what's going to happen in that election. Are you kidding me? We'll see. So, Tolu Ibafe, by Motabari JP, come here, Tinubu lo àwọn because to bá yẹ pé bàbá dáadáa ni, to bá yẹ pé bàbá Yorùbá ni, to bá yẹ pé bàbá ló, to bá yẹ pé bí ọmọ ló mú ni Tinubu mú Sunday Igboho. It only takes one stroke of pen to say your name is removed. As the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, your name is removed from the wanted list. After all, Nkolo Fisibe, but he has the power to remove it. It doesn't take 5 seconds. Táwọn ọba tẹ lọ ń báyìí, àwọn Ọọ̀ni Ilé-Ifẹ̀, àwọn Àwùjalẹ̀ lẹ́gìnì, àwọn Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ yìí, àwọn whatever tẹ lọ ń báyìí. If they're really your father, if they want to prove that they're Yoruba Papa, they should. And if Tinubu will hear them, how long does it take? He's been doing this now for how many? Almost a month, more than a month. What they're doing is to keep him in a place so they can use him against these imperial powers that might want to take Tinubu out of power. Otherwise, kí ni nǹkan tó dà pé kó fún ní àkáǹtì ẹ̀kọ́ náà yọ̀ǹda àkáǹtì ọmọ ọlọ́mọ fún àbí ṣó burú ni. But this is what they're playing. They're playing games with all of our people. And then some people who are advising Sunday Igboho are asking him to go to this. But when we see, I know they're playing these games with this man. They already played you into Yoruba Nation. Now they're going to play you into the hands of the imperialists, and then with the second election coming up, and how many times you do, you fool me once, I'm the fool, and you fool me once, you're the fool. If you fool me twice, I am the big fool. And people should be aware of this politics they're playing with our people. The means of way, do we want to say we don't have, highly intelligent leaders in the Yoruba movement? Are you telling me that I'm the only one that's saying this? Hell no. Social media are seeing the same thing that we're seeing. It is very clear. So how will you let somebody tell you go and sit down in front of your house and you're going to get Yoruba nation? Your nation is already here. And bring all the money, and all you need now is just go and bring money. Put the funds together. We're gonna. I don't understand how that type of thinking comes into any sensible man. And and they'll be working for the same people. They'll be working for these elites. Gbogbo àwọn fèsì wọn tẹrí ní ibi tí lùmú wà tí sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn mo sọ fún yín pé mo fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wá ìyá alájẹ ṣe ló yẹ kẹ́ play tape máa yẹn padà lórí bí video tape yẹn.
Okay, sir.
Let the people see the body language of our politicians. When this man is talking sense, look at how they're looking at him. Look at how they're reacting. They're very uncomfortable. Àwọn igan ni ọ̀tá ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn igan ni ọ̀tá orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, orílẹ̀-èdè Africa. These same leaders that by chance and by luck or whatever opportunity have them, find themselves in the corridor of power, they are the enemies of our own people. And the only way we can bow is when something like this type of protest is coming up to the way all over Momomo. To the way Bolo Yago. And then a military leader that will not take garbage but have no choice than to join the Sahelian leadership or the 3 AES countries to form a coalition of nations, of independent, truly sovereign nations on that continent called Africa. Until Nigeria Buffalo go the way Madagascar went yesterday. If Nigeria goes that same way today, Professor Igbe, rapidly, all across Africa, it will be very rapid. In the space of 3 months, maybe 80% of African nations will have gained autonomy like that. That's when Africa will start talking, and then you will see that the African Union will change. There will be no more such thing as ECOWAS, and that's when you will see international bodies, the African army being formed, and then let's see the army in the world that want to face Africa. Eshema.
Wow, ẹ bá mi gbé gbòòsà fún bàbá ẹgbẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀méje gbòòsà ẹ bá mi gbé fún wọn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré kí àwọn tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Àkọ́kọ́ mi ò fẹ́ dá ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ bàbá ẹgbẹ́ lẹ́nu ni Dr. Michael Ajiloopolo, a kí yín pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí àárín wa o. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni àti kí yín síwájú bóyá tí yín já a dá orúkọ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí a tún kí yín o, ojú òní tì yín láéláé ẹ ní dẹni àná láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ káàbọ̀. Mo kí ìyàwó wa akíyàwó Títí Aláyọ̀, mọ́mì ẹ ní dánìkan ṣe ilé ayé yín, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà o, a dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Akí ta ló tún kù, ẹnìkan tún wọlé tí mọ́mì Títí Aláyọ̀, okay, ta ni mo tún rórúkọ wọn lọ́dọ̀ wa níbí báyìí. Wẹ́ tí mi ò bá dá orúkọ yín ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sórí Ọlọ́run, kì í ṣe àfojúdi o, mi ò rí ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi níbí ni. Gbogbo yín pátápátá la kí láì yọ ẹnikẹ́ni sí. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan, a mọ rírì yín. Nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun ìyá mi. Nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ sà, ẹ ní kí n play ṣé nípa ti electricity tí rí Professor Lumumba yan tán sọ ni àbí.
If I play the last 3 minutes, because summarize, because only like Ogun there, but even his entire statement Ogun, it's not too long. But if you can play just the last 5 minutes of it or 3 minutes, you see how he's putting this, especially between leaders who are video video Professor So our audience, our leaders were kokan. Look at how uncomfortable they are. Look at the body language. Look at their facial expressions. Video
Okay.
ṣe so kò ní ṣe so.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà, torí pé wọ́n máa come fún mi.
Yeah.
Ṣùgbọ́n
But ẹ share lórí platform mi. Mo rò pé mo share náà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
Ó kàn jẹ́ pé mi mọ̀ bó ṣe ń share kíní ẹ̀ tó tí ò ní jẹ́ bí link. Ó dàbí link when I shared it.
Yes.
If we can convert it to tapes like this, tó ṣe rí, that would be better.
Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n lè gbọ́, a lè play ohùn sà.
Àwọn lè gbọ́.
Yes. Okay, sir.
I refuse to do so. And I'll not speak for too long either. Because the issues that I'm raising are known. They are known because they have been spoken about. They are known because your former leaders have spoken about them.
That's an indictment of the country.
You look at the writings of your former presidents, the statements of your politicians, the writings of Olusegun Obasanjo in his book, My Watch. He says, among other things, that potential is nothing if it is not realized. I look at the early statements of Sahamadu Ben, the early statements of Obafemi Awolowo, the early statements of MKO Abiola, the early statements of the two Ojukus, the father and the son. And I ask myself, what can we do now? And I know what we can do. The first thing that we must do today to commemorate the 65 years since Nigeria regained independence is for Nigeria and Nigerians to make a solemn resolve that is no longer business as usual. That from today on, Nigeria is going to provide leadership. That she's going to provide leadership in the economic arena. That we are going to hear more Nigerians talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. That we are going to hear Nigerians talking about the diversification of the economy. That we are going to hear Nigeria talk about agriculture. That we are going to hear Nigeria saying that we are no longer going to import our chicken from Brazil. That we are no longer going to import our rice from Pakistan. That we are no longer going to have on our tables anything called English tea. That we are no longer going to have
all this while.
going to import palm oil from Malaysia, that we are going to diversify our economy, that we are going to revive our leather industry, that we are going to revive our industry so that we can create jobs here, that Nigeria is going to be open space for the rest of Africa, that Nigeria is not going to ask for visas, that Nigeria is not going to ask me for a landing pass when I come to Nigeria. How can the mother country ask me for a landing pass? That Nigeria is not going to ask me for visas when I come here. This is our Mecca, so to speak, and we should be able to come here without any hindrance whatsoever. Nigeria must do that if the continent of Africa is to realize our potential. And I'm suggesting that you must also open up your education. Our young men and women who are going to study in Europe and America, if there were no ASU strikes, we would be coming to Ibadan. We would be coming to Nsukka. We would be coming to the Lagos School of Business. We have enough intellectuals to make us come here. And you can make the money through education. I'm suggesting that you can do that. I'm also suggesting that your airline must now be revived. Nigeria cannot be a country without an airline. How can it be? It can't be done. There are many Nigerians. When I see air peace, when I see air home, I know that it can't be done. This is the time for it to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish not to speak for too long. Let me now move toward the conclusion, because conclude I must. We are at a difficult time in Africa. And that time can only be resolved if we make a solemn resolve. Today, we must remember the words of those who are in the forefront of leadership. Today, I remember the words of a great South African, a man who you must know, Kaisa Kaseme. Speaking in the year 1906, he said that Africa must be regenerated. And I'm suggesting that it is Nigeria that must be at the forefront of the regeneration.
Exactly.
I'm also hearing it being said in 1957, on the 6th day of March 1957, the Sajia for Kwame Nkrumah said that the independence of Ghana meant nothing. Today I'm saying that the new liberation of Africa will only happen if Nigeria is in the forefront. I'm urging you, you movers and shakers, go out there and move and shake the political leadership so that they are able to do that which is good and right. You have the ability, because if you don't do it, history will judge you harshly. Lastly, I want to conclude with these words of James M. and Kwejiragri of Ghana, who said that we are eagles, but we have been fed on chicken feed for too long. Let us today abandon chicken feed. Let us become eagles that we may fly. We are lions who have had the taste for rats for too long. The time is now that we must reacquire the taste for antelopes. Only then will our lionhood be manifest. And I conclude with these words of Wole Soyinka, that a tiger does not shout about its tigritude. You follow the path of a tiger and you see a drinker dead and you know that some tigritude has emanated from there. So go out there and be what you must, lions. Go out there and be what you must, tigers. Go out there and be what you must, eagles. It can be done and it must be.
Oh, wow. Tebari Mori, Babatunde Fashola, lẹ́yìn professor. Mo wo body language wọn bí ẹ ṣe sọ.
Even in the crowd,
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Look at it, because the guy went to different sections of that old hall. No, their body language. Once he started saying these things, they were shifting uncomfortably. They were looking like, you know, you can see terror in some of their eyes too. You know, meanwhile, they are so comfortable. The same thing that I see in the Yoruba nation, where some people believe if they cannot, be in power, in office, in a position for authority, even though the way out is solid, they don't want to participate. Go ahead, man.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sà, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò dádì mi, ẹ káalẹ́ sà. Mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ dádì mi, ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ ṣé gan ni sà. Àsìkò yìí ni sà.
Dr. ABIODUN Òjó, mo kí yín o.
Ẹ ṣeun study, ẹ ṣé gan.
Ẹ̀lẹ́ kú ètò náà.
Thank you, sir.
Ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò ní pọ̀ mi nípa àkókò yín, nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ lọ́wọ́ yẹn náà ni, nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ Nnamdi Kanu àti eléyìí tí bí Omoyele Sowore bó ṣe fẹ́ mobilize àwọn èèyàn pé kán ṣe rally or protest for Nnamdi Kanu release. On the next week Tuesday, wọ́n sọ pé rally yẹn máa wáyé, rally ní Abuja, tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé òun náà ti ń lọ káàkiri, ó ti ń lọ sọ́dà, ó ti lọ sí àwọn ibì kan ní Abuja tí mo ti ń rí àwọn fídíò clip ẹ̀ tó ń lọ káàkiri, especially tó ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn Igbo tó ń ta part, àwọn Igbo tó ń ṣe business wọn láti jáde ṣe gbọ́ ẹ̀. Ìgbà tí mo rí Omoyele náà tó sọ pé òun fẹ́ jáde nípa èmi rí pé it's a very good step èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe sọ wípé nǹkan tó ìgbésẹ̀ tó gbé yẹn ìgbésẹ̀ tó dáa ni tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé èmi náà support ẹ̀. Ọmọyẹlé ó ń ṣe gbogbo eléyìí first ó rí pé Nnamdi Kanu wípé kó ìwàánu detention ń bẹ̀ yẹn is a big injustice pàápàá ni ó wrong ṣebí kóòtù gan ti sọ pé kó fi ilẹ̀ náà still wọ́n hold ẹ̀ wọ́n tọ̀ fún àwọn tó ń gbé nípa tó ń pààyàn tó ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ àwọn bandit tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n sọ àwọn kan wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n ti reintegrate ní tàbí kinní kan sínú army this is àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n gba ẹ̀ ní àwọn èèyàn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ most of them náà ló lọ scot-free but this guy kí ló ń fight fún ó ń fight fún self determination. Wọ́n lọ sí Kenya ń bẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n lọ kidnap ẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé lọ wọ́n bọ́ǹbù ẹ̀ lọ sí Nàìjíríà ó ti wà níbẹ̀ báyìí for over 4 years and court dẹ̀ ti kọ́ sọ pé kàn filẹ̀ still wọ́n fi sílẹ̀ gbogbo kìíní náà ní kí lórúkọ Ọmọyẹlé rí and Ọmọyẹlé dẹ̀ ń ṣe náà for humanity which I can understand. Mo wà surprise tí mo rí fídíò èèyàn kan tó jẹ́ pé mi ní dárúkọ kì í ṣe pé mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti dárúkọ ènìyàn bọ̀ mi ní dárúkọ lórí ìkànnì ya alájẹ lára àwọn Yorùbá campaigner náà ni mo rí nǹkan tó mo wo fídíò clip ẹ̀ bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí kí lorúkọ sí Ọmọyẹlé Sowore ojú gbà mí fún lẹ́yìn tó bá wà nínú tó máa gbọ́ ojú gbà mí ti fún mo rí pé tí làákàyè ẹ̀ mọ nìyẹn mo rí pé tí làákàyè ẹ̀ tó mọ ó bẹ̀ fi ń sọ oríṣiríṣi kò gbá kò kùn fún kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ fún Ọmọyẹlé ṣé o rò pé orí Ọmọyẹlé ṣé o rò ó pé ni Ọmọyẹlé tó rí mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe náà just like Délé Fárótìmí gan mo ti rí àwọn ìkànnì tó ti ṣe tó jẹ́ pé ìgbà tó bá ń ṣe show tó jẹ́ pé a sọ̀rọ̀ wípé kí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu kó fi kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ kó fi Nnamdi Kanu sílẹ̀ mo ti rí àwọn fídíò tí Délé Fárótìmí ti mention ẹ̀ almost 2 or 3 times now. Mo rẹ́ni jẹ́ ìjẹta lẹ́nu yẹn ṣe ẹni tí mo sọ
èmi náà rí sà
mo rí ojú gbà mí tì mo rí pé ẹni yẹn làákàyè ẹ̀ kò ní làákàyè ó dẹ̀ bẹ̀ sí ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí Ọmọyẹlé wípé ìgbà tó mú Sunday Igboho kò jáde síta ìgbà tí Sunday Igboho wà ní Kótọ́nù Ọmọyẹlé ó mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe náà Ọmọyẹlé Sowore ṣẹ́rí Ọmọyẹlé Sowore ó ti ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fà á láti gbà tó wà ní University of Lagos he was the president of University of Lagos ní around 1989 to 1990. Ìgbà tí wọ́n cancel ìbò MK Abiola gan tí Ọmọyẹlé Sowore àtàwọn other student tó ń lọ sílé Abiola ní Ìkẹjà tó ń lọ visit Abiola fún Ọmọyẹlé ní owó Ọmọyẹlé reject ẹ fídíò clip ẹ wá ń ta ó ní kó má wọrí ó lóun ò nídìí owó ó ní election ẹ tí wọ́n cancel yẹn ni òun disagree pẹ̀lú ẹ pé I'm not after money. Only I'm not after money. I'm talking about 1995. But I can't say MK Abiola. No, 1993. Ọmọyẹlé ti ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì pò kì í ṣe it's over 30 years now. Ṣé èèyàn sọ pé bóyá kò mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe ni tó bá sọ pé okay òun fẹ́ ṣe protest pé kàn release Nnamdi Kanu I can understand wípé àwa kóòtù òjìrè ọmọ kóòtù òjìrè àti àtàwọn ọmọ Ìgbò àti ní bad blood kì í ṣe ni I can understand that. Nígbà àwọn bàbá Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ àti Nnamdi Azikiwe that was during the First Republic. ní bad blood ti wà láyé ní ara wa, but notwithstanding. But this guy, ọ̀nà ẹ̀tọ́, ọ̀nà tí ò yẹ, wọ́n rìlíìsì àwọn tó ń pààyàn. Ṣebí a rí ọmọbìnrin tó sọ pé ó pa ọkọ ẹ̀ náà, wọ́n fún ní amnesty ní tàbí kíní kan, ṣé pardon, wọ́n fún ní pardon náà. Wọ́n pardon ní ẹ̀ tó pààyàn, tó pa ṣé ìyàwó ẹ̀ ló pa. Ọkọ ẹ̀ àmì tó fún ní pardon. Nnamdi Kanu tó agitate fún self-determination kì í ṣe nǹkan tó wrong ló ń ṣe náà. Àǹkọ́ tí dẹ̀ ti sọ pé kán fílẹ̀, still náà wọ́n ìhòòdì ẹ̀. And not only Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu nìkan ló jẹ́ kó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn imperialism náà wọ́n wà involved. Àwọn West náà wọ́n wà involved because tábà rántí, tábà padà sí memory lane before kan tó ṣe election Jonathan ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń sọ nípa àwọn kí lorúkọ àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí tó ń kó wọlé ńgbà yẹn tó fi ń da ìjọba Jonathan rú so that election wá fi wọn ò ní jẹ́ kó election yẹn nígbà yẹn náà láti gbà yẹn ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń pariwo and a lot of things ló wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. And tábà wo gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí Nnamdi Kanu ti ń sọ tó even during the Buhari time up till kó tó di pé wọ́n arrest ẹ̀, ṣebí gbogbo ẹ̀ ló come to pass now. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ló come to pass. Gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ massacre, ọ̀rọ̀ genocide tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Benue, tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Plateau, gbogbo ẹ̀ títí ó fi ń dé ọ̀dọ̀ wa. Ó tún sọ̀rọ̀ nípa tiwa náà pé àwa Yorùbá pé tá a bá ṣọ́ra àwọn pípì wọn máa gba kí n lọ́wọ́. Mo rà àwọn fídíò clip yẹn náà wípé gbogbo reserve wa ló máa kú báyìí. Ṣé kìí ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́ni ni téèyàn bá wo reserve, gbogbo reserve tó wà nílẹ̀ kó tó jíire báyìí, gbogbo ẹ̀ làwọn gbósùnmọ̀mí wọ́n ti wà ní àwọn Fúlàní. Ìgbà míì aláàtí máa fèsì reality. Ká má kàn máa tọ́ra wa jẹ. Ìgbà tí mo rí múùfù yẹn, èmi gan fúnra mi, èmi gan tí mò ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí inú mi dùn ni. Mo rí pé the right thing Ọmọyẹlé ṣòro rẹ̀ ṣe. Ṣé Ọmọyẹlé ṣòro kò wá mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe ni tàbí orí ọ̀gbìn? Ẹni tó kàwé tó jáde ni náà. Gbogbo fídíò clip ẹnìyẹn gbogbo mi orí bẹ́lẹ̀ mo á ní ẹni pé mo kàn wọ́n pé ẹni ó níbi tí làákàyè ẹ mọ́. Pé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ yìí kò mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ. Ṣé rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí Mr. Abiodun Ojo, Dr. Abiodun Ojo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ wípé nípa wípé ọ̀rọ̀ changing of government lọ́dọ̀ wa wípé ẹ̀wù ìṣe pé kó tèkì radical yẹ èmi kan support. Èmi bí èmi ṣe wà yìí, èmi believe pé tí nǹkan bá fẹ́ change ní contraction call Nigeria because it's a contraction ni wípé revolution yẹn dẹ̀lélẹ̀ which is not that easy. Nǹkan tèmi fi máa ń wò pé revolution tá à ń sọ yìí wípé kò it's not gonna be easy because táwọn British yẹn mo ṣe máa ń sọ bọ́n ṣe lock wa papọ̀. Ẹ wo Madagascar báyìí, Madagascar pẹ̀lú changes of government tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tó yẹ pé president wọn báyìí ó ti sá lọ sí France. Tí wọ́n bá irú Madagascar yìí náà ó tún yàtọ̀ sí tiwa. Madagascar kí ni population wọn bí i 32 million. Àwọn France náà ló fún wọn ní independence ní June 26, 1960. And ọ̀dọ̀ wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo dẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ ni wípé our people first wọ́n láti decolonize mind àwọn èèyàn wa because millions of contraction called Nigerian people wọ́n is stuck sínú ẹ̀sìn àjèjì méjèèjì. And ẹ̀sìn àjèjì méjèèjì yẹn I always say it is a big problem fún wa níbẹ̀ yẹn. Kí ni ẹ̀sìn àjèjì méjèèjì yẹn? Òun ni Christianity àti kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ àti Islam. which is mental slavery ni. And mental slavery is worse than physical slavery because millions of àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n get stuck sínú kékeré yìí sínú ẹ̀sà àjèjì méjèèjì yìí. Ó wà lára nǹkan tó ṣàdé ara problem ta ní nìyẹn àti kíni tribalism ara nǹkan tó fi jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ pé revolution ń gbà míì radical kìíní tó fi dàbẹ́ pé ó rí bákan ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa because èmi náà wish kó jẹ́ pé kíní revolution ló ti kó wa because election fẹ́ solve problem contraction kan Nàìjíríà ọba máa ṣe election in the next 1,000 years kò lè change a máa worse sí ni. Tàbí pé àwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ ní pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ regional government wọ́n sọ yẹn gbogbo yẹn láǹbà nìyẹn gbogbo yẹn kò sí nǹkan kò lè gbogbo yẹn kò lè change anything. Kò lè change anything. Because báwọn British wọ́n ṣe lock wa papọ̀ yẹn ó lágbára gan òun ni ló fi fà á tó jẹ́ pé ibi tó ń lọ́ọ̀kì wá sí ibẹ̀ láì wà tó jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan ó jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan gan difficult. Even gan Mr. Bola Tinubu tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn gan èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn kan àdán sí ìmọ̀ àfẹ́ni tó jẹ́ pé is in control. Ó kàn wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn àfi figure head ni that is the way I see him. Just a figure head. Téèyàn bá ìwò náà àwọn Fúlàní àwọn British àwọn lè wà in control. Buhari dẹ̀ ti sọ́ngbà yọ ní ẹni tó bá take over lọ́wọ́ òun ibi tó ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì dé ibẹ̀ náà ẹ̀yìn ó máa carry on á continue. Irú ìgbésẹ̀ tí Ọmọyẹlé Sowore gbé yìí which is very very good tó sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kinní fún Nnamdi Kanu ká máa wo nǹkan tó máa jáde lẹ́yìn yẹn náà ká máa wò but àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò fúnra wọn àwọn náà láti jáde and some of àwọn Ìgbò politicians kan tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n jẹ lábẹ́ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jẹ́ àwọn gan fẹ́ kí Nnamdi Kanu kó jáde wọ́n kó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn people like irú àwọn kí lorúkọ Ọjì Kálù irú àwọn Okorocha irú àwọn kí ló Hope Uzodinma ló ga wọ́n fẹ́ kó kúrò ń bẹ̀ yẹn. But ìgbésẹ̀ yìí I wish nípa tọ̀rọ̀ kan tó fẹ́ ṣe kó yí di positive. Ìyálàjẹ Dr. Abẹ́dùn ìjọ máa bẹ́tù yín lọ kan tí mo kàn ní kí n sọ nìyẹn ẹ ṣé.
Adìjọ ní ètò ní ọ̀gájì ẹ ṣe gómìnà sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ pẹ́ fún wa láṣẹ ìtumọ̀ rẹ̀.
Àṣẹ ìdìbò ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣé sà yẹ sà ẹ bá wa ké gbogbo lé sà.
Ẹ ṣé mo dárí.
Ẹ bá wa gbé gbòòsà fún bàbá wa ẹ ṣé. Màá jẹ́ ká ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ dádì Dr. Abiodun Ojo ẹni tí wọ́n ń sọ yan nípa tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí alàgbà Ọmọyẹlé Sowore mo kàn ń lọ káàkiri ní alẹ́ ẹjọ́ wo nìyàn mo kàn gbọ́ kinní yàn mo kàn rẹ́rìn sínú mi mo mú onítọ̀hún tá bá kúrò lórí ètò màá dárúkọ ẹ̀ fún yín kì í ṣe pẹ́rù ń bà mí bí dádì ṣe sọ no ẹ̀rọ Ọlọ́run ọba nìkan tó dá mi tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé orí òtítọ́ ni mo dúró lé tí màá lọ jíyìn fún nígbà tí mo bá dàgbà tí n bá dògbò nìkan ni mo bà lọ́wọ́ tí mo wà yìí ṣùgbọ́n kò tí ì tásìkò ni torí gbogbo oníkálùkù là ń wò bó ṣe lọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí kò tí ì tó àsìkò.
Ẹ ṣeun ìyá màmá à á sọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá parí ètò.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
Mi ò gbọ́ nọ́mbà kò lè yá èmi lẹ́nu torí pé it's not because I'm trying to talk down on some people or whatever but ṣe rí àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan some people especially that ti nígbà tí èmi iṣẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá Nation tẹ́ rò pé wọ́n wà in depth ṣe get.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
Ìwọ̀n mo ṣe fẹ́ sọ tí ò ní dáhùn pé bóyá ìgbéyàn ń tàbùkù èèyàn ṣe é understand tó pé tẹ bá wò títí tí àgbo wọn kọwọ́ kan ṣe get.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
Pé kò pé tó pé wọn lè gbé akásọpọ̀ ẹnu mi ò lè dánú ṣe pé àwọn mi ò lè dánú rò àwọn míì nǹkan tó bá wọn depend lórí pé kẹ́ sọ fún wọn pé báyìí ni kán dà follow and ìfẹ́ tán bá ní sí ẹni tó ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ni àwọn ń bá ṣe, kì í ṣe pé nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nítòótọ́. A lot of people àgàgà àgbàtàn ní kàn revamp YSM yẹn, ẹ bá láwọn tán kó wá sí orchestrate tí wọ́n orchestrate láti kó sínú council àti everywhere mo kàn bá àti even to the executive. Ìgbà mo ti wò pé what a deliberate act. And all to the leadership. The head of the head is to blame for all of that. And it was not a mistake. It was a deliberate, calculated act. Again, Musope, it was not an accident. What happened was not an accident. So when you look at the whole thing, you see how it was cleverly. This is somebody who is very intelligent. If you're this intelligent, why are you telling the Yoruba people something else?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Àtẹ̀mí náà, ó kèmí oko Ọlọ́run ni.
That's it.
But ṣé mọ̀ ntí èèyàn ó ṣe lèèyàn ó ṣe, ntí Ọlọ́run ó ṣe tó ṣà òkè ó ṣe lòṣà òkè ó ṣe. Ohun gbogbo lákòókò, ìgbà kíkójọ àti ìgbà fífọ́ká, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti wà nínú gbogbo àwọn ìwé àkọọ́lẹ̀ àtàtà. Ṣé understand? Èmi àgbà àkókò yìí kò tiẹ̀ sí òmìnira ń bọ̀ fún àwọn èèyàn dúdú, ìgbéga àti àlàáfíà ń bọ̀ fún wa. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo òye tá ń rí, òye ilé tá ń rí, òye tó dára ni. Tí n bá ní kí n yọ sọ, èmi máa ń lọ àwọn ètò àdúrà kan lára àwọn ọjọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àdúrà pé kí àlàáfíà kó jọba ní àgbáláyé, gbogbo tó gun wà ṣe mọ̀ pé k'Ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ kí àlàáfíà. Ọ̀rọ̀ sì jáde lónìí pé àwọn olórí mẹ́ta kan, àwọn wa mi ò wá mọ̀ tó ń wà o. Pé kán gbàdúrà fún wọn kó má jẹ́ pé pósí tí wọ́n wà wájú rìn bí wọ́n ṣe tán tí wọ́n lò. Pé torí Ọlọ́run sọ pé àwọn tí ò bá ní jẹ́ kí àlàáfíà kó wà fún àwọn ènìyàn, òun ṣe tán láti mú wọn kúrò.
Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè.
Orí ìkànnì la wà bí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Èmi gba Ọlọ́run gbọ́ dáadáa débẹ̀ ni. Àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kan ṣẹlẹ̀ tó pé lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tí Ọlọ́run ò sì ní sọ̀rọ̀ lóhùn sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ibi tí Ọlọ́run yá ibi tí kò sí ẹni tó ń dá ọ̀rọ̀ yìí padà.
Kò sí sà.
Tó bá wù ó lè yí padà. Téèyàn bá gbọ́ ìkìlọ̀. Torí Ọlọ́run sá ti rán wòlíì sí ọba rí pé palẹ̀ ilé ẹ mọ́ torí pé òun ò kù. Tí ẹ bójú wo gidi tí ò sọ pé ó ní pé iṣẹ́ pọ̀ tó ń wò ṣe Olúwa. The same wòlíì yẹn lọ́rùn tó dá padà gbé lọ sọ fún pé òun fi ọdún kún ọdún rẹ̀ àbí ẹ̀kọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ṣùgbọ́n kò ní sọ̀rọ̀ kó lóun sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o. Kì í ṣe ènìyàn.
Èyí lè tó sọ ìyàwó àti gbàdúrà táwọn gbà kọ́lọ́run lè máa kó ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run kó ṣẹ.
Àmín.
So gbogbo àwọn tó bá ní wọn ní jẹ́ kí ọmọ Yorùbá lọ, tó ní jẹ́ kí ìran aláwọ̀ dúdú lọ, tó ní jẹ́ kí orílẹ̀-èdè Áfíríkà kó gba òmìnira kó gba àlàáfíà, ní tó bá wù ní kọ́lọ́run fi wọ́n dá lára.
Àmín. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà. Ojú òpó ṣì wà ní
mo kàn fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn kan kíyèsí kán má jẹ́ kí wọ́n fi religion kan fi tàn wá jẹ. Tẹ bá ń gbọ́ tí America ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa the killing Christians, please tell them to go and stay in their Senate. We don't want to hear that. Torí àwa ìpapà ti jáde tá a pariwo gbọ́n wọn pa wá tẹ̀ dá wa lóhùn. Nígbà tójú yín ti wá ń yàn ní ìsìta mọ̀ pé yín gan lẹ́yìn lẹ́wà ní abẹ́ gọ̀ tẹ̀ ń jẹ́ jíìnì, ẹ̀yin lẹ́wà nógò tẹ̀ ń jẹ́ jíìnì. Àbí? How can you tell me you created the terror group? Look, that's another thing that we need to talk about. The former president of Nigeria, ṣé Goodluck Jonathan Aniko mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ? Goodluck Jonathan in the history of Nigeria anybody tó jẹ́ incumbent tó dẹ̀ nílẹ̀ láti contest the election tó sá kúrò ní gómìnà tó lóun contest tó lóun gbà pé wọ́n gbàjọba wọn lọ. You sure that? And before that happened, àwọn Barack Hussein Obama àwọn náà create náà fund ISIS àti Boko Haram.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Àwọn ẹ̀ náà fúngun mọ́ Goodluck Jonathan láyé ojú ayé wọn báyìí wọ́n kẹ́ Buhari ní representative àwọn Boko Haram to negotiate with the government. Abẹ́ẹ̀kọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
So you have the head of the Boko Haram become president, and then you see what happened in Nigeria. So Goodluck Jonathan is saying that you can see foreign hands. I mean external, foreign, only external hands. Who are the external hands? Because I want to try one solution to the situation. If a whole president is telling you that in Africa, who are those external hands? This is a man who has access to all the instruments of government. Yeah, I thought Allah Goodluck Jonathan àti Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim is a bold, fearless young man. He's a patriot to core. He was shaped by war. So he has seen it all. And then because he has a choice to either live like the elites and look the other way. Like some of our generals in Nigeria are doing and funding and doing the biddings of these Western masters. Generals in the Nigerian army who are being used by these Western imperial lords to fund and promote and train this Boko Haram and ISIS terrorists in Nigeria. So when Goodluck Jonathan is saying this, that external hands are involved, why is Yoruba leadership not understanding the clear things that we're talking about and still continue to fool people and saying, go and sit down in front of your house, you take Yoruba nation? Instead of joining forces with somebody like Sowore, let us join forces and then get Kanu out. Let us join forces with the Igbos and force them and march down on National Rock and change the leadership of the country. That's the only way out. We change the leadership of the government. We have a young, fearless man be the leader of that government that would form alliance with the people in the Sahel and a regional bloc against these imperial powers. And let us have peace. Let us have development. Let us have progress. And then, and that's only then, can the Yoruba nation start to talk about, we are Yorubas, this is our land. Africa.
Okay, sir. Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí ètò Daddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ṣé gan, sir.
Ṣẹ́rí ọ̀rọ̀ Ted Cruz, èmi náà rí nǹkan tó sọ ní bí ọjọ́ mẹ́ta sẹ́yìn tó ń sọ wípé ìyẹn ní contraction kọ Nàìjíríà pé àwọn kan wọ́n pa àwọn Christian. Ṣẹ́rí ìgbà tí mi gbọ́ gbogbo kìíní wọ̀nyẹn ọkàn rẹ̀ ni pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ fún àtẹni tí ò bá mọ orí èèyàn táwọn púpọ̀ ní jẹ́ la máa believe wọn tó bá mọ bọ́n ti ń play game wọn. Ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ wípé àwọn kan wípé àwọn wọ́n pa àwọn Christian nìkan. Àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí nǹkan tó ń ṣe nowadays kì í ṣe Christian nìkan náà ń pa ọ́. Nǹkan lára àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn tó ń bá wọn ṣe ẹ̀sìn ìmọ̀le tí wọ́n ń ṣe náà ẹ̀sìn Islam Muslim tó ń ṣe wọ́n pa lára wọn náà. Katsina ṣebí àwọn Muslim wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Benue ṣebí àwọn Muslim wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Plateau ṣebí àwọn Muslim wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Kwara State ní gómìnà lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta tó lọ ya gbogbo ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ọmọ bíi ṣé kìí ṣe bíi 20-something bíi 22 community or town wọ́n sọ àwọn èèyàn lè gbé bẹ̀ mọ́ báyìí ṣèbí a lot of them wọn náà wọ́n tún jọ wọ́n ṣèbí wọ́n ṣe Muslim wà lára wọn lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n jọ ń ṣe kínní. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí ṣó àwọn tó ń pààyàn tó ń ṣe gbogbo èyí ṣọ́ọ́pì lọ́wọ́ pé muslim kì í ṣe christian nìkan náà kì í ṣe it's only about christian now. Gbogbo eléyìí tó ń sọ yẹn àmọ́ lásán ni tẹkùs ń sọ. Ká má gbàgbé ṣèbí nígbà yẹn náà ní during the Soviet Union nígbà yẹn náà Al-Qaeda ṣe báwọn náà ló dá sílẹ̀ during the Cold War láti fight àwọn kí lórúkọ àwọn Soviet Union gbà yẹn ṣe báwọn ló dá Al-Qaeda sílẹ̀ káwọn lọ kọ́kọ́ lọ wo history náà ní 80s during the Soviet Union ṣe báwọn náà ni àwọn tó ń da everywhere lù tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń pa àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n ń dẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn légbodò àwọn nǹkan ìjà tó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn ṣèbí àwọn náà ọwọ́ àwọn kíni ló ti ń wá náà ìta náà ló ti ń wá náà àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tó fi ń pa èèyàn lóríṣiríṣi tó jẹ́ pé àwọn nǹkan tó wà lọ́wọ́ sophisticated ìbọn ló wà lọ́wọ́ wọn ṣé àwọn ìbọn wọ̀nyí ṣé contraction kan Nàìjíríà náà ti ń ṣe ni ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ìbọn tó ń wá láti kíní náà ní tó jẹ́ pé àwọn náà ló ṣe bọ́n wọn yẹn lẹ́gbọ́n kò fún un ṣùgbọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bàálù tó wá ń já àwọn èèyàn sílẹ̀ níbi tó ti máa ń ṣe ọṣẹ́ fún àwọn èèyàn. Gbogbo eléyìí tó ń sọ wípé kí àwọn gbọ́gbọ́n sọ pé àwọn kan wọ́n ń pa àwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì ní kíní kan náà tó ní náà gbogbo eléyìí tó ń sọ yẹn àmọ́ nǹkan tí mo kàn ní kí n sọ nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣeun sà, ẹ ṣe gan dáàdì. Àgbáyé adalẹ sà, ẹ ṣe sà.
Àṣẹ àtẹ̀yìn náà.
Yes sir. Okay, dáàdì, ẹ máa tẹ̀síwájú sà.
So, I mean, Nekukuru, those are the things I really wanted to highlight. We should not be fooled by these people, especially when they come to you, start talking about religion, start trying to pitch us against ourselves. It's all fallacy. When we protested and bring it to the light, they acted like they didn't see us. They sanctioned our people. They banned us on visas. They use every instrument to degrade and disrespect our people. You know, why should we continue to trust these people anyways? And then, shouldn't we be asking the real questions? Professor Lumumba asked the right questions in Nigeria. Is the leadership of the Yoruba people asking the right questions and telling the Yorubas the right things to look at? Are the church leaders in Nigeria, those CEOs, those GU, Baba GU, all of them, and then the imams, are they talking the real things, what's happening in our country to our people? Yeah, I urge the youth in Nigeria, these adults, video meanwhile, oúnjẹ tó ń jẹ yẹn wọ́n fi ń ba ayé àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yìí jẹ ni wọ́n fi ń ba ayé àwọn èèyàn àwọn ọ̀dọ́ Nàìjíríà jẹ ni wọ́n fi kó agbada wàhálà sí orílẹ̀-èdè tí orílẹ̀-èdè àwọn sínú ọ̀rọ̀ ayé àwọn èèyàn wa ni kó sáà ti dá fáwọn nìkan àtàwọn àti ìdílé wọn kó bàjẹ́ fún gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá àwọn gbogbo ọmọ náà fún gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá Nàìjíríà pàápàá all to serve the interest of our oppressors. If we continue to think about these things, you will actually want to hate your religion at some point. But for some of us that have been in faith for a minute, because when you start looking at this injustice and in the name of religion being perpetrated against the people, I'll go back to where I belong. Shouldn't people, they are trying to force people into those things. And who are they? These are the same imperial powers that don't believe nothing in what they brought to us. That's the way, we shouldn't blame our faith because it is real. Tell me about that. What do you mean? Ṣùgbọ́n àtọ́ mú ẹ̀sìn yẹn wá tán mú ìgbàlà yẹn gan wá fáwa wọn àkókò gbàgbọ́ wọn sínú ẹ̀ ìyẹn ò mí pé ìgbàlà táwa gbà yóò rí ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ẹ̀yìn bíi kò yẹ ká fojú rẹ̀ wò ó because Bíbélì tèmi ò kọ́ mi pé kí n gọ ìgbàgbọ́ tèmi ò sọ pé kí n ya wèrè, kí n ya òmùgọ̀, kí n ya gbẹ́kun sínú kí náà pé kí n ní àfihàn ní wọ́n mi nìyẹn. Inú sì wà lọ́dọ̀ tèmi. Ohun tá a fi hàn mi tí ń ṣe ń gbà ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run sì fún mi lọ́pọlọ kí n lè dánú rò. Don't let them come with this religion and start fooling us. Oh, Nigeria no ti ń pa Christians too. Nigeria ti ń pa Christians jù nítòótọ́ lóòótọ́. And the same stupid senators, they're not talking about how they're killing people in Gaza. Tán pọ̀ oyún, tán pọmọdé, tán pa àgbàlagbà, tán fi bí pa ọgbà àwọn èèyàn ní Gaza. They don't say nothing about that. The same senators from the United States, they're not pressuring the government of America to also join the rest of the world to sanction Israel. They're not going to do that. But they want to talk about the killing Christians in Nigeria. Who is fooling who? Don't buy this garbage. These are the same old plague books they've used in the past. And the Sahelian leaders are telling them enough is enough. See how the progress is. Across Mali, Kinini, go and look at the progress of what's going on there. Crime in Burkina Faso has gone down 90%. And the promise is to make the Sahel the safest region on earth. Africa, on earth, where to live. These guys are determined. That's why we need we need young. First, the first criteria will be they should be under 50. Under 40. Under 40, men who are shaped, men of integrity, men who are fearless. It could be a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. I use the word men in plural form. Who are bold and courageous, and who have love of their own, of their people. Who are going to stand, who will take the oath to serve their people in honesty and in truth. Against every form of oppression, and free our people from this bondage, this nightmare. That's what we need. We don't need politicians to be talking us garbage. And if Sowore is going to lead that cause, that will lead to the emergence of a David, more grace to Zabo. And I think we should support it. If you do a few urban nation, about 20,000, about 20,000, about 10,000, Nigeria, they can your place to place. Why don't you use that to join these forces with Sowore and march down on Aso Rock? That's what is expected. Not sit down in front of your house. And the next step. Until we that's okay. The next step, tell me about it. And then Kajo. And Kajo is in July. You know, we've been counting since July. In July, August, September, October, November, day. That was what I next year. Ojuwajuta, Lenona. I do consider Kajo. Ọmọ tó ṣípá, bàbá tèmi sọ pé àwọn bàbá wa sọ pé ọmọ tó ṣípá nìyẹn máa ń gbé. Yeah, we need to march forward with these people and support them in that struggle. That's what is required. That's what's demanded. In it is our salvation. That's when we can get Yoruba nation out of a free Nigeria.
Wow. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè, ẹ kú ohùn sà, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ yín kò ní dọ́bà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ tí mọ̀ ṣe ẹ mọ̀ ṣe mọ́ kò ní jẹ́ tiyín o lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. Ẹ bá mi gbé gbòòsà lẹ́ẹ̀méje lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí fún bàbá ẹgbẹ́ wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ láti gbọ́ yìí o, ọ̀rọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ tó yẹ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká dìjọ lọ ronú lé lórí. Akí àgbà Omoyele Sowore pé eléyìí tí wọ́n gbọ́wọ́lé yìí, ọba tó láyé tó lọ́run á tì wọ́n lẹ́yìn, kò ní tì wọ́n lójú. Wọ́n máa rí ṣe o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. wọn ò wá ní fi ẹ̀mí wọn ṣe lágbára Èdùmàrè, wọn ò ní fi aya ṣe, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn ò ní fi kankan náà ọmọ wọn ṣe lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ wọn ní dòkùnkùn láéláé. Bákan náà Baálé Fárótìmí ojúlówó Yorùbá làwọn náà. Ṣé rí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, bàbá mi tí wọ́n pè wọlé lẹ́ẹ̀kan yan, èmi náà rí kinní yan fọ́nrán yan. A ní láti ṣọ́ra ṣe, gbogbo wa máa ń sọ nǹkan kan lórí ètò wa níbí báyìí, mo dẹ̀ gbàgbọ́ lé lórí, a lè sùn ká kọrí síbì kan náà, kò ṣeé ṣe. Àwọn ẹlòmíín wà tó yẹ pé orí wọn àwọn sinmi wáyé ni, báwọn ẹlòmíín ṣe wọ́n sìyàn wáyé ni. So ṣùgbọ́n àwọn bí à ń wò wọ́n kò tí ì tó àsìkò, torí àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé ẹ̀ẹ̀kan lè máa bú gbogbo èèyàn kan máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí gbogbo èèyàn, come on now. Ibo ni ọmọlúàbí wà? I don't understand. Mo kí Barrister Délé Fárótìmí náà, a kí wọn pé Ọlọ́run á máa fún wọn ṣe, wọn ò ní ṣàgbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa ní orí ìkànnì yìí, a kí yín gangan, a kí ẹ̀yin bàbá, a kí ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, ẹ kú àdúrótì, ẹ ní dánìkan ṣe ilé ayé yín o. Ilẹ̀ aláwọ̀ dúdú, orílẹ̀-èdè aláwọ̀ dúdú lápapọ̀, ó máa tùbà, ó máa tùṣẹ. Èmi mọ̀ pé láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà nǹkan kan tó lágbára ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Èmi gbàgbọ́ ọ̀nà tó máa gbà tí Elédùmarè gbà tó máa fi ṣẹlẹ̀, ó máa ya gbogbo wa lẹ́nu, ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Èmi ó ṣeé ṣe kó jẹ́ pé láti nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ yìí, ní 20 ọjọ́ oṣù tá a wà nínú ẹ̀ yìí, èmi mọ̀ pé ibi tó ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn, ọ̀nà àrà tó lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, ó dẹ̀ máa ṣojú ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí a kí àwọn òbí ọmọbìnrin tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀mí ẹ̀ légbodò ní Àbújá Yansa, tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Arise ní ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí. Tẹ bá wo kinní yan, mo wo fọ́nrán yan, àánú abiyamọ á ṣe yín, Ọlọ́run kó jọ̀wọ́ kó bá wa tù wọ́n nínú. Ọlọ́run máa fi oúnjẹ má fọmọ pa wá lẹ́kún sà. Mi ò mọ̀ bí mo ṣe lè sọ, bó ṣe ká mi lára tó ó burú gan ni, nǹkan tí ò yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀. Ibi ò ní bá wa lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ọlọ́run á nu àwọn òbí ọmọ yẹn, á nu omijé wọn nù, àti gbogbo àwọn òbí yòókù lápapọ̀ tí wọ́n wà nínú irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o, àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ìyá àti bàbá wa, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà, ẹ ṣé o. Tẹ bá ti ń pe Ọlọ́run báyìí, Ọlọ́run máa dá yín lóhùn ní ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún ọ̀nà ni. Ẹ ṣé o, ojú ò ní tì yín láéláé. Mo wá lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ Dr. Michael Ajilopolo lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ ṣé gan ni, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà gbogbo, àjọṣe wa títí ayérayé ni. Lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, ọ̀run adìlé àti ọ̀nà yín mú. Ẹ ní sunkún lórí aya, ẹ ní sunkún lórí àwọn ọmọ yín, àwọn ọmọ yín náà á débi gíga, wọ́n á pàṣẹ níbi gíga láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Mo wá lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ Peter Bàbẹ́gbẹ́, bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá mi gbogbo, tẹ bá wò Ọlọ́run dára sí mi lọ́pọ̀, àwọn bàbá oríṣiríṣi ni mo ní. So bàbá wa tí wọ́n pè wọlé yan, ẹ ṣé gan ni, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà gbogbo, àgbáyé adálẹ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, ẹ kú àdúró sí ọmọ yín, ẹ ṣé. Bàbá mi Bàbẹ́gbẹ́, bàbá mi, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, bàbá ẹgbẹ́, mo sọ títí ayérayé, ẹ kú àdúró sí. Mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun gidigidi kan ní sà.
Ẹ ṣé fún àpọ́nlé máa dìde. Thank you.
Ẹ ṣé, ojú òní tì yín láéláé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, àní wá yín tì o. Ọlọ́run máa bá mi pa àlọ́ àti àbọ̀ yín mọ́, gbogbo nǹkan tẹ ní láyé yín, èyí tó ń dùn yín nínú, èyí tó ń mí àti èyí tí kò mí, ìkankan ò ní pa yín lẹ́kún nínú ẹ̀, ọmọ aráyé ò ní fi kankan pa yín lẹ́kún nínú ẹ̀ lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ẹ ní sunkún lórí aya, ẹ ní sunkún lórí kankan náà ọmọ yín, àwọn ọmọ yín máa pàṣẹ níbi gíga, ó dẹ̀ máa ṣojú ẹ̀mí yín, ẹ máa fọmọ fọ́kọ, ẹ máa gbéyàwó fọmọ lójú ẹ̀mí yín, gbogbo dáadáa tẹ fẹ́ lórí àwọn ọmọ yín, ọ̀run á ṣe fún yín lágbára Èdùmàrè. Bí mo wá ṣe fẹ́ kó rí fún yín, kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́mi náà gẹ́lẹ́ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Mo mọ rírì yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sà. Ẹ bá mi kí gbogbo lé o, ẹ ṣé sà. Ẹ bá wa kí àwọn alẹ́ ká tó máa lọ sà.
Mo kí akó ètò tòní, yóò mọ̀ dá sí ni o lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àníkún ni pèrègùn mọ́ ní aṣọ tiẹ̀, a máa gbèrú lórí ìkànnì yìí.
Àmín.
Kò ní rẹ pa wa, kò ní sú wa.
Àmín.
Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí a rí ìfẹ́ wa fún ìran wa ní dáradára. Ìpín tiwa náà kò wá ní jẹ́ àpínlẹ̀.
Àmín.
Gbogbo àwa tá a darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì yìí àti gbogbo ọkàn tí ò lóore ọ̀fẹ́ láti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ètò yìí àti gbogbo ọkàn tó ń bá wa pín àtọkàn tí ó mọ̀ wò lọ́jọ́ iwájú àti sọ yìí ná ilé ìtasọ ọmọ kó wà fún àkọọ́lẹ̀ fún ìrántí lágbára Ọlọ́run a ó rí òdodo Ọlọ́run èmi mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ rírọ́ là ń pa lórí ìkànnì ni bóòtọ́ là ń sọ ni yóò kúkú fara ṣùgbọ́n a kí wa pé ẹ kú fẹ́ tẹ ní pẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ̀yin náà ò ní dáṣáyé o òṣàkè ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín ohun gbogbo tẹ́ bá ti ṣe lọ́la Elédùà lọ́la nùkan yóò mọ̀ yàn ó sì dáradára ni àwa ní gbúrò ìbànújẹ́ sẹ́nikẹ́ni bí alájẹsẹ súre yìí bó ṣe gbàdúrà yìí fún mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ni yóò rí fún gbogbo wa lápapọ̀ àti àwọn kan tán gbàdúrà ju bá ti máa béèrè lọ ọ̀rọ̀ òfin ọ̀run ẹ ṣe àkíyín ẹ má bínú pé ó tójọ́ mẹ́ta mo ṣàlàyé ọ̀nà fún ọ̀nà ọ̀run ọba arún ní iṣẹ́ odò ọba akún ni ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run tó fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ ó wù láàánú rẹ̀ ó jẹ́ kò ní kó wa sáyé tó bá tún wù ọ̀la náà ó tún ṣe é ṣe fún wa nígbà tá a ti dáhùn pàdé Ọlọ́run kó pa á mọ́ ní àlàáfíà gbogbo nǹkan nínú wa kò ní di ṣíṣe o.
Àmín.
ṣe.
Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ̀yin aráalé Powerhouse Gospel Ministries ẹ má gbàgbé ní orí Facebook orí YouTube náà wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ ẹ lọ bá mi subscribe níbẹ̀ ẹ bá mi follow wọn ìṣòro wa ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní déédéé aago 12 orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà 12 midnight Eastern Time ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa bó ṣe rí nìyẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ bá mi lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yẹ ń gbọ́ ẹ lọ bá mi subscribe ní ibẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ṣe ẹ bá wa like ẹ bá wa comment ẹ bá wa pín ètò wọn tẹ́ bá kúrò ní ọ̀dọ̀ wọn ẹ yà sí ọ̀dọ̀ Ìyálájé Global Talk Show ẹ bá wa like ẹ bá wa subscribe ẹ bá wa pín ètò ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ o ìyókù ó tún di ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ní déédéé aago 7 bó ṣe rí gẹ́lẹ́ nìyẹn ó dàárọ̀ ìyára alẹ́ ẹ ṣé.